also Chile as a whole. We're going to be talking about history, as mostly city tours, but also gastronomy. When you're traveling, food is always really, really important, right? And the social context of Santiago, politics as well, coming from my side in the most objective way possible. This is the least thing you can do as a tour guide, among other topics we're going to be discussing. What about you? The same? Part of the same gang? That's fair. Welcome, the three of you then. Welcome, welcome. What about you?
It's first time in Santiago from U.S.
Nice. Welcome, my friend. What about you guys?
We're from Brazil and
First time from Brazil. It's an honor as well. Welcome. So guys, now we're going to start a proper walking. We're going to be heading that way, and where's the circuit? We're about to do like a big circle. So by the end, we're going to be talking a lot about food, drinks, basically one of the most important topics. Right? O'Higgins, mouthful. Bernardo O'Higgins is a name that repeats itself in Chile. He was the main liberator for independence process from Spain that happened in the year 1810. And Bernardo O'Higgins, not the most Chilean last name, right? His father was from Ireland, his mother was Chilean. Once again, you're going to be seeing that name everywhere. Aside from being the main avenue, clearly transit-wise, this is the most important part of Santiago and Chile, where the most relevant protests and social manifestations take place. All this area, I'm talking about kilometers in both directions, is a really hot zone, because 5 blocks down there, you have the presidential palace. And then here, to that direction, you have another antique-ish building, right, with this yellow color that was built at first to be the main campus of one of the two most important and oldest universities we have here in Chile. This one is known as Universidad de Chile. But nowadays this building is mostly the main library of this university. In Porta central offices as well, some classrooms, but those classrooms more like extensions of our faculties here in Santiago. Latin American wise considered to be a good university over. Also guys, really important to know, today in Santiago we're quite close to being almost 8 million people living in this city. Almost 8 million people. To think that in all Chile we're 20 million, so quite centralized, to put it on a really subtle way. And then over there in front of us you can see another glimpse of another antique building. There's a little hallway, like a passage. We're going to be there entering the financial district that is right over there. Follow.
So that's the University of Chile.
Exactly. The thing is, nowadays, as I told you, it's mostly the library.
Oh.
So you have the new campus, fully remodernized, ubicated in other parts of the city.
Okay.
That's the first one.
Okay. Does this close early? I was here last night, and it seemed like it closed early.
Yeah, because of the holidays, because of Easter.
Oh.
I mean, to be honest, normally they don't close that later, though, you know.
Oh, okay.
Regular schedule almost.
Oh, okay.
Here in front of us, clearly we have one of these entrances to this financial district, also known as the stock market area. The financial district was founded in the year 1893. It was the former Chilean government by the time. Took a little inspiration. We always use the word inspiration, but to be honest, we weren't the first or the last to imitate Wall Street. Not only on architectonical level, but also for the first time, the economical model system in Chile was fully neoliberal for the first time. Right now we're going to be located more in the middle of it. We can have a little glimpse, you can imagine, of everything that is surrounding us. And also guys, you can imagine during the week, on a regular day, this place looks a bit more active, right? You can imagine. Okay guys, so here we are in the heart of this financial district, and I would say to you that of course during the week this place is much more active, but not as active as you expect on an average financial district. There's an explanation for that. First of all, Santiago as a city is divided with a lot of different comunas, we call them, that is basically a district, right? A section of the city. Right now, we're in Santiago Centros Comuna, and the tour is here, first comuna ever. Of course, the history is concentrated here, but if you go to another comuna in Santiago that is called Las Condes Comuna, over there you're going to find this same financial district, but the 2.0 version of it, which means no history whatsoever. Everything's gonna be totally modern there. And there you can actually see everyone running 24/7. There you're gonna find like all the cliches and stereotypes of person Wall Street that makes any sense, right? This is the original version, still functional, even clearly doesn't seem like it today. Here to our left, here we have the first original stock market building. First. We on a minute when I start to surround this building, so afterwards we can appreciate the full scale of it, right? But as I told you before, still functional. Over there you have those two signs. It says Tanner, and Tanner is the typical good old stock marketing company. But in this case, it works a bit more like the old days. Old days I'm referring to more like a physical format, because nowadays everything is mostly digital, right? We know. And right here where we're standing, guys, simply on the floor, for the rest of our tour we're going to be seeing a bunch of these metal plates that says Santiago Patrimonial, Santiago's patrimony. But in this case, these are actual touristic hints. Every time we see one of these plates, it's going to mean that we're about to see even a national monument right next to these plates. That in this case, of course, referring to all these financial districts we are right now. So that's that. We're going to keep slowly moving to see what else this place has to offer.
So is Santiago one of the most expensive countries in Latin America?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah. Chile overall, but especially Santiago.
Okay.
Yeah, it's rough for the common folk. You can imagine you have to get a certain income, like border, imaginary border.
Yeah.
And after that, you can actually sleep well during night, you know?
But it's cheaper than the U.S., right?
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
exactly.
but it's kind of like the same exchange rate. Like 5 meal is like almost like $5.
Exactly.
But it's still cheaper.
Exactly, but the thing is, the minimum wage here is around $500 minimum wage, which is really low compared to the cost of living overall.
I got you. Okay, so the conversion is the same, but the price
Yes,
is...
that's the tricky part about it.
Okay.
Exactly, my friend. Classical architecture style, of course, here in Chile, as most other South American countries, the most important influence is always going to be Spain. And we're about to see that the French architecture is going to be sneaking in more than one among others. And here, guys, we have the scenery in front of you. I wanted to ask you if you can please look to the opposite direction and simply compare. We just came from right here in front of us. We're basically going to be receiving like a slap to our faces. This is really violent contrast of architecture, so typical for what people see with the average, right? And in this case, with the friendly sponsorship for Spanish restaurants, we have Santander Bank. All this is Santander. Nothing new. They have empires in different parts of the world. But here in Santiago, to be really honest, every time you blink on the next corner, posteriorly from Earth, you're going to have a new Santander Bank emerging. I don't know, but probably with a new Starbucks coffee shop. Those things you're going to see the most here in Santiago. No kidding. I could just call it a fun fact, though.
Or Subway.
Or Subway as well.
Every corner.
Yeah, I know. All the possible options, right? Friends, here we're standing. One block ahead. We're going to be heading that way. We're arriving to one of the most important stops of the tour, to the Presidential Square. Okay? Follow me back. My friend, it's a blessing to be in the street so empty. You cannot imagine on a regular day. Absolutely crazy. Of course, you can go inside over there. You have a beautiful coffee shop here as well. You have to register, not in this case at least. Better ones, I think. So yeah, you can register your name. I have better signs points, advices in my Santiago, but still, or too much.
So it's empty because people gone out of town?
That's one of the main reasons. Also here, any holiday, rest day, we take it too seriously.
Okay.
The same I was saying my Brazilian friends here. Yeah, this is a mix of both.
It's not quite Easter yet.
Exactly, not yet, but still, any opportunity just to flee off Santiago.
Okay.
Yeah. Most of the people go to Valparaiso, right? Like Viña del Mar, like the sea of Chile. It's like an hour and a half from here, really near.
Oh, okay.
That's where most of people escape.
Oh, okay. They escape. They leave. Okay.
Literally, yeah. Here in front of us, we have the first justice court in the history of Chile. It was founded in the early 1900s. And in the inside, you also have the Supreme Court. And here we have this kind of a pillar that was built in honor to the two men at the top, Manuel Montt and Antonio Varas. Basically considered to be the founding fathers of the justice system in Chile. They sat on a table and redacted one of the first constitutions in the year 1823. Manuel Montt, one of the first presidents in the history of Chile, Antonio Guevara's first Ministry of Justice. Follow me that way, please. We have this statue, and we have two statues, a revolutionary one, Ura just broke character, by the way. But yeah, back to our regular statue. That statue over there was built for the 500th anniversary of the discoveries of the Americas, and that really prominent face you can see, because of his facial features, was built in honor to one of the most important indigenous tribes here called the Mapuches people that we share with Argentina, but nowadays they're mostly in Chile.
Yeah.
Guys, here we are in the heart of this main square, Plaza de Armas. All this area that we can see, and even more that we can see right now, used to be originally an natural park, and a lot of different indigenous tribes been gathering here from centuries and centuries before the arrivals of the Spaniards. And we know that they came in the year 1541, and they, throughout arms, they expelled every single indigenous tribe here, and the first military settlement was built in this place. That's why in our case, this square in Spanish is called Plaza de Armas. Armas, that means weapons, right? And all the history background with that name. Over there, behind you, right next to the palm tree, another beige color building, right with the clock tower as well. It was built at first to be the first Indian court, was the name. The Indian court is kind of a prototype of justice court system for all the Indian tribes. And guys, here, because the cathedral is about to get closed, I'm going to give you 5 more minutes. If you want to visit the cathedral, that is so much bigger than you see from the outside of the world. That was the official explanation. Yeah. I cannot tell you no. That tower is really important to Chile's economy because it's shops, galleries, shops. So yeah, once again, nobody asked me that, so I wanted to tell you. It's murals that you can find, and you heard about the city Valparaíso, right? Yeah, Valparaíso City. That city is covering this type of murals. You know how that city is going to be covering those famous artists from the city. So yeah, even though once again we're here in this group, Santiago will really always mention this in Valparaíso, on Piña del Mar. We're going to keep moving with
These are condominiums.
yes.
There's a lot of condos here.
A lot, yeah.
Yeah.
Every single part of Santiago. Yep.
It's not so many apartments, it's more condominiums, right? Independent owners.
It's kind of a 50-50 to be honest.
Really?
Yeah. Depending on which area you can imagine, but yeah.
Like most of the Airbnbs seem like they're condominiums.
Ah, yeah, they're 100%.
Yeah.
Good catch.
What's the name of this park?
Parque Forestal.
Parque
Really literal.
Forestal.
Forestal Park, literal.
Okay.
When something that bizarre happens, I would say it's part of the immersive experience. Finally, gastronomy. The first dish I'm about to recommend is really important here in Chile. You've probably already heard it though. It's called pastel de choclo. Pastel de choclo. Choclo, it means corn. You have all this corn being smooshed on a platter made of clay with a lot of chops of beef, a lot of chicken, a lot of spices and herbs. But the most important thing, a lot of olives and eggs. So this is fully compressed, compacted in this platter, then it's baked in the oven on a slow burn. And after that, you're gonna have a consistency quite similar to a shepherd's pie. Has a touch of sweet flavor, of course, because of the corn, but also a touch of salty flavor. It's really tasty. And when you're gonna see the portion, you're immediately about to think, this is so small. It is small, but it's really deceiving. It's really powerful as well. Pastel de choclo. I always say, remember the word chocolate. Has nothing to do with it, but still, pastel de choclo. And the other fish simply would be the salmon, the Chilean salmon. Today, we're the second largest country in the world that exports salmon, right after Norway, of course. We always recommend to try the Chilean, to be more specific, smoked salmon. Really, really tasty and fresh as well. And then you have the oldest recipe in the history of Chile, seafood related as well, that is called curanto. And curanto is a huge mix of different type of shellfishes, different type of meat, and also prices that can be found in a pot. In this pot, we're about to find from a lot of oysters, a lot of clams, a lot of centolla. Centolla is like a king crab, right? Really, really good. More type of shellfish. And then here, guys, I'm assuming that we all know here that in Latin America, you're always gonna find empanadas. Nothing new with that, on the contrary. But every country is like the most representative one. In our case, it's called empanada de pino, like the tree pine. And then, of course, guys, the drinks. Let's say you're gonna try some good, really good, like craft beers from Chile. We always recommend two beers. One that is called Cerveza Austral, coming from a brewery direct from Torres del Paine, from the heart of Patagonia. It's in all Chile. The good thing about this beer, you have a lot of like exotic flavors. And the other beer, another thing, guys, also important, you can imagine the wine. The wine in Chile always been really big. The red wine, to be more specific, Carmener. We're about to enter a tour over there. There's a really good winery that I recommend to people. If not, I don't know, let's say you have a free day, you can always grab a tour of different vineyards we have in Santiago, further cities as well. It's going to be a good experience. And last but not least, on the contrary, pisco and everything pisco related, from pisco sour, piscola, and all the derivatives. Here I'm assuming you guys already knew this probably. If not, let me tell you, here in Chile we always had this small, not so small historical conflict with our dear neighbors from Peru, right? In Peru, they claim that they invented pisco. Here in Chile, saying, hey, Peruvians, you're lying, we invented pisco. Typical thing with our neighbors. To be brutally honest though, here in Chile, we lost that fight even before it started, you can imagine, right? Imagine that in Peru, they have even a location that is called pisco. What can we do against that? And we all know here, right, that Peruvian gastronomy is one of the best of this part of the world. They prepare pisco with their own essence. We do the same here in Chile with our own essence. And the good news for you guys, that in Santiago we have a lot of really good Peruvian restaurants. So you have the perfect excuse to try both and be the judge of it. Which one is better, right? Just let me know. Really important to me.